Hello everyone, Luke Smith here. It is Monday the 23rd of December, day before Christmas Eve. We didn't do Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8 files. This is set in 2021, a few years after the Baker incident. Mia and Ethan has been moved to Romania by Chris Redfield to keep them safe and keep a check on them because of the mould. And they have a baby now, and Chris comes in, claps Mia, and it all goes pear-shaped from there, and it's basically Ethan's adventures in Romania. So there's three files. I will be doing a DLC of this, obviously, but that will not be until Friday. So let's read. Diary. February 9th. Dawn. Some forest. It should have been a night like any other, but then Chris Redfield. Oh, this is oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to read this last because this is Ethan's diary, and he writes in it every time something major happens in the game. So I'm going to read that at the very end of the video. So Ethan's diary. Here's like the first major file. February 6th, 2021. Mia and I had another fight. I accidentally mentioned what happened 3 years ago and she blew up at me. That was the Baker incident. We finally settled down in our new life in Europe and can bring Rose up properly. That's the child's name. But I still feel like part of me is trapped in that hellhole back in Louisiana. I know Mia doesn't like to talk about it, but we can... But can we really forget everything and pretend like this didn't happen? Well, to be fair, like something as bad as that happening, you best forget about it. It's like you're not worth remembering that, because that was a horrible thing. Shouldn't we face what happened so we can live our lives with Rose without it hanging over our heads? We owe her that much at least. I know Mia knows this too. She shouldn't have exploded like that at the hospital if she didn't care. That was in the Winters house. Examine the laptop in the main bedroom upstairs. Old news clipping. Curtain closes on the Delvey gas incident. So this is how the media covered up the Baker incident. The committee completed their investigation on the 18th into the Delvey toxic gas leak in Louisiana in 2017. They concluded that the deaths were caused by a leak of natural gas that has built up in the mud rock under the area. Jack Baker, 57, and his family, who were all exposed to the gas, perished. Ethan Winters and his wife also believed to have been nearby, but their current whereabouts are unknown. The entire area has been closed off by officials who believe that it will be at least 10 years before this area is habitable again. So obviously, like, the whereabouts are unknown. So in other words, Chris Redfield did not tell anyone where he was taking Ethan and Mia to, because he just wanted to keep it secret. So I don't know if he lied to the media. Well, obviously possibly did, but it looks like it was a cover up. People saying toxic gas leak. It was essentially how Raccoon City was dealt with, because it was a government missile, but it was covered up as something else in the media to keep it all hush hush sort of thing. Again, that is in the Winter house. Examine the newspaper in the far corner of the spare room upstairs. Medical checkup report. Name Rosemary Winters. Date of birth February the 8th, 2020. Yes, there's American timeline right there. Height 62.3 centimeters. So 2453 inches. Weight 6.57 kilograms. Roughly 14 pounds. Screenings: hearing, vision, touch, reflex test. All results show no issues. Patient is in good health. Other notes: results for additional fungal pathogen tests will be provided by the BSAA, Applefield Memorial Hospital. So yeah, the BSAA has heavy involvement in testing roads for like mould, because obviously the normal hospitals, they do not have the technology to deal with that sort of thing. So that is in the Winter House again, inside the chest of drawers in the corner of the main bedroom upstairs. Fridge memo: Rose's food, February 6th. Rice cereal, banana puree. 7th, sweet potato puree, boiled spinach and cream. Ethan: don't give her any sugar or honey, and no mushrooms. That was in the Winter's house, on the fridge in the kitchen. Scribbled note: O great lichens, the fabled monster wolves of old, may they come to eat our flesh, may they come to tear us apart. That was in the chapel of the village, in the corner, on the corner table in the northwest corner of the main room. Now this is when you actually get into the main bulk of the game with the village area. Dangerous creatures. Louisa: they broke in again. Got more of the livestock. I don't think we'll make it through the winter at this rate. Ernest is missing too. Can't find him anywhere. Has Mother Miranda abandoned us? That's in Louisa's house in the village, on the armchair in the entrance hall. Mission briefing. Mission objectives: eliminate target, recover body, secure Rosemary Winters and Ethan Winters, move the two Winters, that's a weird one there, to Site C for further investigation. At least 2 transport officers to accompany them. That was, I believe it was Chris Redfield and someone else. That was in the village outskirts, on the ground where you wake up at the start of the game, next to the overturned vehicle. So yeah, the mission briefing is the one that you should get before the scribbled note. By the way, like I said, this is a little bit out of order, but it doesn't really matter. Ghost of Wardin play card. We offer these Goats of Wardin to protect the village and its people, and any who break them shall feel Mother Miranda's wrath. That's in the graveyard, on the front of the wooden kiosk, and the Goats of Wardin are the wooden statues. Are basically smash them, smash all of them, and you get, I think you get an upgrade and a trophy achievement. They're basically like the breakable objects in Resident Evil 2, 3 and 4 and 5. A Maid's Diary, June 9th, 1958. It was my first day working at the castle today. I was most shocked to see the masters of the house were all women. The mistress and her daughters were very adamant that they wouldn't bite. It was quite peculiar. June 23rd. It has been 2 weeks since I started working at the castle, and I am a little afraid. Another maid, Adelia, made a mistake, and Miss Daniela slashed her face with a knife. And that night I can hear railing as if ghosts were roaming the halls. I want to go home. July 8th. I don't know what to do. The young ladies were complaining it was too hot and stuffy doing dinner, so I opened the window just a crack. Shut it now, they all shrieked at me in unison. I fear I may be taken down to the cellar, never to be seen again. I don't know what to do. That's the thing, because like cold air is their weakness, and because the game is set in winter, it's snowy, and it's in Romania, so it's snowy and freezing cold outside, so they want to be kept warm, because the 3 sisters are basically made of flies, and obviously flies die out in the winter months. Cleaning storage, Castle Dimitrescu B1, on the small metal shelves in the northeast corner of the main room. Alicia Dimitrescu diary. We were all called by Mother Miranda to decide the fate of the child's father. Just thinking of that family meeting makes me shudder. To think I am treated like a sister to those miscreants. Especially Heisenberg, that riffraff wouldn't know proper manners if it slapped him in the face. I would have just sliced him to ribbons if Mother hadn't stopped me. Why does she treat me the same as them? She gave me this castle, obedient daughters, everlasting life, did she not? Am I not her favourite? Am I not special? I need a drink. That's the thing, is like, Lady Dimitrescu is like one of the more important ones. Is like, she was favoured among like all of the house masters, but for some reason, like, she wasn't liked as much. Because like Heisenberg was actually chosen to do the first test. Dimitrescu Chambers, Castle Dimitrescu, 2F on the couch in the front of the window. Dimitrescu's medical record. Name: Alcina Dimitrescu. Cadu affinity most favourable. Brain functions normal. Regeneration rate is incredibly fast. The subject can heal any external wound within seconds, and grow her nails into claws in mere moments. Rapid regeneration also means increased body size. Note: due to a hereditary blood disease, the subject must ingest human flesh and blood on a regular basis to maintain regeneration properties. I suspect that if the subject's regeneration is not properly balanced, then she may mutate uncontrollably. An unfit vessel for Eva. And Eva is the reason Mother Miranda wants Rose, because she's the perfect vessel. And that's in Chris's mission, for some fucking reason why this is up on the list, I don't know why. On the table on the opposite door inside Mother Miranda's laboratory. Further observations. One day since treatment, the 3 girls have stopped moving. It seems almost dead. An insect flew out of the eldest's mouth. It appears to be a common fly. 2 days since treatment. All 3 bodies are covered in flies. It appears that the flies are consuming their flesh. When I opened the window, some of the flies dropped dead to the floor. It would seem that the cold petrifies them. I quickly closed the window to avoid weakening the insects further. 4 days since treatment. All 3 bodies are almost completely consumed by the insects. All that is left is the dark, writhing human-shaped mass of the creatures. It is just afternoon and the insects have started to change colour. Those around the face turn pale, and those around the lips turn a deep crimson. 6 days since treatment. The mass of insects is transformed into human bodies again. All 3 girls awoke, looking up at me at newborns. I sense a bond between us, like mother and daughters. I have already decided their names: Bella, Daniela, and Cassandra. That's the thing. It's like just ordinary human subjects, and like the mutation makes them turn into like flies. A mass of flies basically eats them to death, and the flies form a human like perfectly. So that's creepy. Opera hall in the castle, on the cabinet in the southeast of the corner. Insect observation demo. Journal. Scientific name: none. Sizes: 5 to 6 centimeters. Similar body structure to blowflies. God, they're fucking massive blowflies. I hate them. Although they are different in the head. They are carnivorous and vigorously consume meat. In order to catch unsuspecting prey, they'll gather using pheromones to mimic a human. They are produced when a kudzu lays an egg in its host, but the flies transform themselves are unable to reproduce. They are weak to sudden drops of temperature, especially if the temperature drops below 10 Celsius 50 Fahrenheit. Their metabolism lowers and they go into a dormant cryopod state, similar to the cryostasis of tardigrade or polynium. What the fucking hell does that mean? I know what a tardigrade is, but don't know what the others are. And that is in the Opera Hall again on the small table. Guest book. January 5th. Rydnik, delivery of 1 male, 3 females. January 25th, 28th. Mother Miranda, meeting with Mistress Dimitrescu. February 1st, the Duke, business decisions. And the Duke is basically the merchant of the game, but you can buy, sell, upgrade. You can even cook meals with him if you got the meat. That's in the entrance hall of the castle on the table. Cook's diary. Another one was sent to the cellar. She had only spilt some soup. Everyone knows what happens when you're sent to the cellar. You'll never be seen again. They'll drain your blood, your soul cursed to wander the halls. I went looking for her, and when I found her, she was just skin and bones and gnawing on a rat carcass. I suspect it'll be my turn next. Damn. And that is in the kitchen on the shelves. The labyrinths. No, I'm not even gonna worry about saying that. Labyrinths. A craftsman in the late 19th century, Norskin, possibly, was branded a heretic in his homeland. He wandered the lands until he settled in a remote village. Norskin then created 4 labyrinths: the castle, a house on the hill, the water wheel, and the iron tower. Upon their completion, he put a gun to his temple and took his own life. Each labyrinth is unique and requires its own specially crafted metal ball to operate. Each one contains crystallized human remains, which are said to be Norskin's 4 beloved wives. The labyrinths are their graves. So it's talking about the in each of the areas there is a ball and there is a puzzle to put the ball in. It's basically like a rotation puzzle, and you got to like guide it through the maze or the labyrinth and put it in the hole in the end, and that will unlock the treasure, which is the desecrated remains, crystallized remains. Now this Norskin, did he actually make these make the castle, the house on the hill, the water wheel, make the lords homes back then? Possibly, I'm not quite sure really. Now it's in the merchant's room on the small table next to the labyrinth puzzle. That's basically the save room it is in, like the main one. I don't know, that's interesting. That is winemaking history. The winemaking technique of Castle Dimitrescu can be traced as far back as the 15th century, long before the current occupants of the castle. Alcina Dimitrescu uses this legendary yet particular technique to enrich the wine's flavour, intensity, and bestow it with a thick bouquet. Her best vintage is Sangius Virginus, meaning maiden's blood. It is kept in a special ornate bottle decorated with unique silver flowers. It's basically blood and wine. That's what it is. And that's a bottle that you need to use to get into a secret room where you find a key to the courtyard. That's in the wine room of the castle, on the table in the middle of the room. Grand Chambermaid's notice. Please be aware that Mistress's lipstick is missing. If anyone finds it, please return it to her bathroom. It is a custom made and therefore very expensive grand chambermaid, and that is in the northern stairwell on the cabinet in the north side of the room. Each lord has a special treasure that you can collect, and you can sell it and then you can get riches, because it's like really important stuff. Also, after you defeat the bosses, each boss has their own treasures for you to collect and sell as well, each for like a lot of money. Rumours of a dagger. I heard that there was something called the Dagger of Death Flowers somewhere in this castle. It is apparently a antique from the Middle Ages that is coated in a constellation of poisons from across the continent. It is said to have been created to kill demons and monsters. It sounds fascinating, but no one knows where it is. Well, you actually start off the boss battle with Dimitrescu with this weapon, and like Ethan holds it like it's nothing. I mean, like, what if he got poisoned off of that thing? And that was in the attic of the castle. Treatment candidates. Irina, Michaela, Laris, Ingrid. Rejects, and it's got them rejected names. And that was in the cells of the castle and on the metal trolley. Observation report. Irina, robust appetite. Michaela, robust appetite. Lois, robust appetite. Ingrid, unstable, overly alert at all times. Now, is she one of the creatures in the dungeon that you have to destroy? I'm not quite sure. Now it's in the cells again, in the third cell from the bottom east. I read that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Gardener's Diary. November 10th. Mistress Donna is now Mother Miranda's adopted daughter. In all my years, I've never been this overjoyed. Ever since childhood, she's always been feared. She's always feared others due to the scar across her face. After her parents' death, she locked herself away and would only talk to Angie, the doll her father made her. I am forever thankful to Mother Miranda's infinite compassion. November 27th. Mistress Donna seems happy. It might be my imagination, but I feel like her doll Angie is even more lively than before. She came to me in the garden today and used Angie to talk with me. With me. We had a mighty fine conversation. Something about receiving a gift of flower from Mother. November 29th. Mistress Donna gave me yellow flowers and told me to plant them in the garden. I planted them in front of Miss Claudia's grave. I don't know if it was the scent of the flowers, but I feel light-headed. Then, like a dream, I saw my departed wife. I mentioned this to Donna and she seemed thrilled by it. She told me to go to the house tomorrow and see her. She said that I could see my family once more. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but she is so kind. The flowers, when you go up to the old house, this is the second part of the game, by the way. The flowers causes you to like hallucinate in the game. That's why Ethan sees his dead wife, and she like lures him into the house. And basically, it's like a puzzle sort of thing. There's no enemies in the house apart from Donna and Angie themselves. So yeah, it's a bit more of a freaky area to be fair, more horror related, and that's in the gardener's room of House Beviento on the small metal shelves. Where the hell was I? There we are. Donna's medical report. Oh, like when you start a section, now it's putting the medical report there, so you know, so you get a bit of lore before you read on. Okay, I know how this site is prepared this. Subject's name, Donna Beviento. Cadu affinity, favourable. Brain function normal, although severe mental illness. Physically, she's no different from a regular human. However, she can secrete a signal-producing substance which controls plants infected by the Midomyces. Or when humans absorb the pollen from a particular flower, she can cause them to have hallucinations. However, she is mentally underdeveloped and has divided her cadeau among her dolls in order to control them from a distance. Unfit vessel for Eva. And that is in Chris's mission. On the table again. On the table, when you first enter that room, right at the end of the game, you'll see all 4 books for the house leaders. Right there. Changing the cranks. The cranks is old and busted up. I feel like it's going to snap any second. I hope it doesn't break. There is another one over. The only other one we have is over at Windmill 2. That's in the gatehouse backyard. Moreau's Reservoir. Inside direct blue truck in the east side of the area. Moreau's Diary 1. That's the thing. It's like in House Beneviento there wasn't many files. I think there's only about 2 or 3, wasn't there? It's like the Gardener's Diary, Observation Report, and Candidates. It's a small area, but it is interesting. Moreau's Diary 1. October 1st, sunny day. Mother Miranda brought me 5 peoples from the village. Just like I asked her did. I made them sleep with some liquid and then I put cadeau into their tummies. I'm looking forward to the cadeau to grow in their tummies. October 2nd, a cloudy day. 4 of the people from the village are dead this morning. 1 is almost a lichen. I sent it to my lab in the mountain. I failed again. Mother wants strong vessels, but I cannot get any. I need more people from the village. Flooded house yard in the reservoir. In the drawer on the small desk inside the house. Moreau's medical report. Subject name Salvador Moreau. Cadeau affinity low. Brain function surprisingly low. The cadeau has caused drastic changes to the internal organs, transforming them into organs similar to fish-like gills and the swim bladder. Another subject with irregular cell division causes him to transform into a giant fish. The subject is unable to control his transformation. Too many defects and an unfit vessel for Ava. And that, again, that's in Chris's mission on the same table. That's the thing, is like Donna and Moreau is like 2 of the most upsetting ones, because of like Donna's mental condition, and like she was bullied to the point where she basically hid away in the house and like befriended dolls and stuff. And like Moreau is basically an outcast. It's like the Moreau's Diary 2. Mother Miranda gave me a rose jar. Nobody likes me, which is why I thought that they would leave me out again. But Heisenberg said that is why we each got a rose. The ceremony cannot happen without us being there. Mother didn't seem to care though. Mother said Rose is a vessel. River vessel. Mother can get her real child back, even though she's been dead for a very long time. I think like almost 100 years Ava's been dead for. But if Mother does, then what will happen to me? I'm not her real child. Will she abandon me? No, I don't want that. No. So he's basically lonely. He wants a family, to be fair. Moreau's underground study in the reservoir B1 on the small stool in front of the TV, and that's essentially like after you defeat him, right there. The reservoir and the giant fish. Leave the boat key in the shack in the mine. Hans is dead, so no more fishing for a while. I mean, we all know his death was no accident. He was eaten by a giant fish, boat and all. That was the giant fish in the water. East Jetty, Moreau's Reservoir, on the small table in the cabin next to the wooden jetty. Development Note 1. Mechanical Soldat. Oh, this is the final house area. Version 1. Fully grown male corpse used. Removed heart and implanted cadeau. Muscle stimulation via electric shock was successful. Brain dead, so no high cognitive ability. Only moves by destructive instinct and then stopped. Mechanical Soldier Soldat. Version 1.01. Attached headgear to the cranium. Electrodes confirm stable brain waves. Experiment 1. Lichen fight. Was dismantled and eaten within 3 minutes. Issues with destructive and murderous capabilities. Mechanical Soldier Soldat. Version 1.10. Replace lower part of arm with drill. Not enough output for effective movement. Need live bodies perhaps? Mechanical Soldat. Version 1.15. Implanted cadeau reactor into the chest. Output greatly increased. Experiment 2. Lichen fight. Destroyed 3 lichens in 1 minute. Good results, but issues with reactor durability. May stop functioning if reactor is destroyed. And that is in the MB4 storage, Heisenberg's factory, on the bench in the north side of the room. That was that one there. Development Note 2. Soldat enhancement, Soldat jet. Attach the jetpack and head stabilizers to a Soldat. Greatly improves mobility. Experiment approved limited flight capabilities. No long distance flight, but now possible to navigate rough terrain. Soldat enhancement, Soldat Panzer. Attached aluminium alloy shielding to a Soldat to protect his chest reactor and exposed flesh. Experimentation proves that he is invincible against regular firearms. Armor doesn't hold up against strong blasts. Further development is needed. So that's interesting, because you get these files. It teaches you how to defeat all these new unique enemies in the factory. A grinder shaft maintenance room on the metal desk in the southern side of the main room. Storom. Prototype Storom. Used a cheap turboprop engine, but it's impossible to control. All he does is charge too much power output from the reactor. Completely invincible head on. But the dumbass manages to chop his own arms off with the propeller. Also issues with overheating from running for too long periods of time. Conclusion: a complete failure. And Strum is basically the kind of mini boss of the area. You basically need to avoid him as much as possible, and get behind him and shoot the thing on his back, or when his guard is down. He will overheat. So that's when you have to get him. In the power room of the factory, on the fan unit on the east side of the main room. Heisenberg's medical report. Subject's name: Carl Heisenberg. Cadeau affinity incredibly favourable. Brain functions normal. Has electric organs similar to the electric ray, wherever that is. These electric organs are connected to the subject's nervous system. Can therefore pass and control electricity throughout the entire body, allowing control of magnetic fields, which is used to move metal. He is Magneto. He is essentially Magneto. Splendid specimen, but still an unfit vessel for Ava. And that is in Chris's mission again. That is the last file on that table. Heisenberg's diary. Miranda is abominable. Her deceit knows no bounds. We are merely a bunch of failed Cadu experiments to her. I was just lucky I had more affinity to the stuff than the other poor schmucks in the village. So she still kills me her son? What a joke. I'll never forgive her for what she did to me. That crazy bitch has never been right in the head. She can't see a difference between experiment and family. Miranda didn't just change my body, she took my dignity. If I don't kill her, then my life will never be my own. Still, she may be crazy, but she's also powerful. She can turn anyone using the Megamycete. The trick is that brat Rose. If I could access her power, then maybe. Speaking of, the kid's dad, Ethan, is a pretty interesting body himself. Maybe I could get him to help me out. And that is in the cargo control room on the metal desk. That's the thing, is when you first enter the area and have the first talk with Heisenberg, he offers you to help him. What if you did help him? I mean, he wanted to destroy Miranda as much as Ethan did, so Ethan kind of should have gone with it. to be fair, see where it actually took him. There's the S diary. I did read it, didn't I? Yeah. Chris's computer. 2 Hound Wolf Squad. The sweep of the factory is complete. No proof of any connection with the organisation. Guess this was not our lucky day. I did manage to get my hands on a number of documents disclosing some of Miranda's experiments, which supports our previous theories. She seemed to have infected herself with the Megamycete, which has granted her a number of abilities, including mimicry, which is basically being able to take over the forms of different people. She can control herself and transform herself to look like anyone or anything. Here we go. She's disguised herself as Mia and infiltrated the Winters' home. That's why Mia was acting cranky. It wasn't Mia. It was it was Mother Miranda. Her objective was clearly to kidnap Rose. Maybe she thought she could control Rose easier if she looked like her own mum. When we attacked, it put a little damper on her plans, so she mimicked the corpse. She then revived herself in the transport truck and killed everyone aboard, and took off with Rose. Things didn't go the way we have originally planned, but in the end, she still got what she wanted, until now. It's time to rendezvous and blow this place sky high. This might turn into a fight with Heisenberg, but I think I found something useful. He left one of his little toys laying around, and it's even made from metal polymer composite, which he can't control. Time to turn the tables, Alpha. And that was in the scrap heap of Heisenberg's factory. Examine the laptop, and that was essentially where you get that giant machine to defeat Heisenberg with. Note on the Luthor house. To whom it may concern, due to Luthor's long absence, I'm keeping hold of the house key. God, this is really early in the game. Please find me if you need it. Regards, Joseph Simon, Beverianto's gardener, and that's in Luthor's yard in the village. Pinned next to the door leading into Luthor's house. This is like after the castle stage when you go back to the village. Church computer. Operation date February 9th 2021. Recorded by NH 11:35 arrived on site. No signs of Ethan Winters or Rose Winters. 12:10 infiltrated village. Engaged with a number of bioweapons. Found evidence of Ethan Winters. Rose Winters location unknown. 13:10 established base in church. Plans of operation. Oh God. LBTD-K9 Search Laboratory, NHUE Analyze Mold Samples, Alpha Infiltrate Factory. So their teams has been split up to do different tasks. And that's in the church. Examine the laptop next to the altar after returning from Castle Dimitrescu. Craftsman's note. I finished the item you have requested. Please deliver it to the house with the red chimney. Go through the caves into the ruins and then down the village. That's the craftsman's house in the river on top of the north side of the house. To be fair, is that the key? I kind of forgot what that was, to be fair. Oh, that might be the Magnum gun, possibly. Ernest's diary. July 8th. Today's the day that jolly merchant stops by. He always gives me some old newspapers. I know Miranda forgives them, but the news of the outside rails is always fascinating. There was one thing that piqued my interest in the last one. It was an article about some medicine company. I don't remember the name, but their emblem looks familiar. It was a symbol on the giant's chalice. I'm pretty sure I saw the same one painted on the walls in the cave too. The radiating umbrella image really stands out. What's some outsider company emblem doing here? I wonder if it had anything to do with that man who stayed here all them years ago. Now I'm overthinking it. That's right, because you see the umbrella logo right after you get out of the castle. And you think, what's Umbrella's connection? Are they back? But then, near to the end of the game, you realise that Umbrella had like influence, like with this village, and that's in Otto Still Mill Meat Storage Stronghold entry on the small table. Leonardo's message. I heard a scream from the house of the chimney. I was going to take a look, but it was blocked by debris. I'm going to have to take the long way around. Who would have thought this hole in the stable wall could come in handy? If I'm not back by morning, you should go to Louisa's house alone. Father. And that was in Leonardo's house village on the table in the northwest of the room. Yeah, Leonardo was that old guy who basically turned into a lichen near the start of the game. Officer's diary. The king's orders finally arrived. Withdraw. It is most vexing that we must abandon the border stronghold to those heretics. If I had just a little more time, I know I might be able to turn the tides on this battle. Nay, I should not put on airs. It is my curiosity that ties me to this place. There is a number of ruins in the vicinity, which the locals say are very ancient. The ceremony site with 4 giant statues, the caves with murals carved into the walls, the stone plinth they call the giant's chalice. Where did these people who built them come from? Where did they go? It irks me that we must abandon this place without knowing. And now this, like, obviously a king, this is probably written in the 1700s mostly. Small cabin in the stronghold on the floor on the east side corner of the chamber. Where was it? Officer's diary? Yeah, there he is. Vasil's final testament. The wounds are severe. I won't last much longer. I can hear shuffling from outside. It barely flinched when I shot it. I feel like it's toying with me. This is not a wolf. Still, it won't lie down not like a dog. If I can get to the old windmill, I can stop it. I can protect you. It's so close. Damn, I'm so cold my legs won't work. I am sorry, Louisa. Please forgive me. I think it's talking about that giant, like, beast creature. East Old Town Stable appears on the dead body in F1 after regaining access to the old town after exploring House Viento. Yeah. Experiment notes. Purdue implantation result notes. Subjects 174 to 181. Subject 184 Machalem. Characteristics: 21 male silversmith, scars from pneumonia. Results: low affinity, Cateau failed to grow. Body transformation, drop in collagen. Another lichen, sent pasture. 177 Bermiette B. Characteristics: 21 female, no application. No history of illness, results death. Subject 181 Alcina Dimitrescu. 44 female, noble descendant, not from the village, hereditary blood disease. Results: very high affinity, no loss of collagen. Ability able to control body transformation. Applied collagen to control procedure. Sent for observation. So in other words, they experimented on everyone in the village. Anyone who died. Anyone who survived and turned into lichens, they just said, out you go, and they roamed the village. But people like Alcina Dimitrescu, they basically held her in for more research and that. That's in the dungeon of the stronghold, on the table on the south side of the dungeon. Analyst results. DNA sequencing complete. 99.95% match to Delphi Midomyces. The derivation of 0.05% can presumably be attributed to artificial changes by humans, which means this is probably the source. Further investigation into how connections manage to find and extract the mold is needed. The fungal colony is spread out under the entire village. When you take the Baker incident into account, the hosts of the Midomyces are part of a network of consciousnesses. If the network is linked to here, then we could assume that this organism here is data storage. If that's the case, then what data is Miranda after? So it's like a hive mind, like the Midomyces underneath the village. Basically, anyone who dies from the mold, essentially their mind, their soul, goes into this like giant Midomyces hive mind. So they're continuously living in this mass. This is weird. Riverbank, cave camp. This is another campsite for Chris's lot. Sat on the weapons crate. Eugen's diary. February 1st. Sacrificed 2 goats to Mother Miranda. February 3rd. Offered wool to Mother Miranda. She instructed me to find her a list of drugs and tools in the next few days. What for, I wonder? February 8th. No messages from Mother Miranda, yet livestock won't stop their ruckus. February 9th. I was instructed to take the items to the cave church at sunrise, but what I saw was frightful. The great 4 lords were there, and Mother Miranda was holding a child. She whispered something and touched the child. I can't explain it well, but the child turned into a white crystal, and then I couldn't help but speak up, and I asked why she would do such a thing. Mother Miranda just smiled at me. This is the chosen child. She will return to her original form no matter what befalls her. Then she gave each lord a part of the crystal in a flask and left. I forgot to bow to Mother Miranda before I fled. I am still shaking. What did she do? What is that child? And that is in Egan's house in the village, on the small table in the middle of the house. And that's essentially the flasks that you get. Each has a different part of rose, and you get 4 flasks. And you essentially have to put it into this like obelisk, and then take this obelisk and put it into somewhere else to get into the factory. Maru's diary of experiments. Mother Miranda gave me a mountain. Now I can do lots and lots of Cadou experiments. This is my secret special laboratory. I did 3 Cadou experiments today, but they all went pop and made a mess. And then I put I put in the Cadou and then tried putting wolf's blood from a needle into the spine. The person wriggled a lot and then killed my assistant. Who was his assistant? That's what I'd like to know. I couldn't hold it down, so I put it in a cage. Now I have to feed it. Fucking hell. West Building, Moreau's Reservoir entry on the table. Miranda's diary. These are longer ones. My Ava. It has been 100 years, yes, I thought it would have been, since I lost you to the Spanish flu. It was so powerful back then. So yeah, like I do remember, like, the Spanish flu gets mentioned in this, like, right at the end. So it does reference real life events. But now I can bring you back to life from the Megamycete. I had to test your new vessel with innovative abilities. I took her apart and revived her in the Megamycete regulator, the Giant's Chalice. All that's left is to merge her with the Megamycete, and the ceremony can finally begin. After I lost you, I was so stricken with grief that I wandered into the cave to die. I was so wanted to be with you again, and that's when I found it, the Megamycete, completely by accident. So yeah, like, she didn't create it, she like found it. So in other words, where did the Megamycete come from? Like, who was it invented? Was it just like made naturally? It's like, maybe Resident Evil 9 will shed some light on that. When I touched the black substance, my mind was overcome with knowledge. The Megamycete breaks down and absorbs the consciousness of those who have perished. I knew if your consciousness was there too, then there would have been a way to bring you back. I needed the right vessel. When I returned to the village, I implanted the villagers with mould from the Megamycete, so that then I could control them, experiment on them. When I experimented on hundreds of people just to find you the perfect vessel. I even tried to increase the efficiency of finding a vessel by creating a parasite. I called it Cadou. None of my experiments came to fruition. There were some, like Alcina, who were close to being perfect, but most turned into lichens. I was once approached by an organisation that said that they would assist me. I gave them some mould and your DNA. That might be the connections, possibly. But they created another defect, Evelyn. Yeah, that was the connections. She helped the connections out. But then, not a complete failure. I learnt of Rose thanks to them, and I knew she would be the perfect vessel. There was some interference, but I was able to verify her superability. Now the research is finally complete. Eva, I have waited so long to see you again. That's in Chris's mission on the centre table inside Miranda's laboratory. And the second from last letter, because we've still got to read the Ethan's diary, Spencer's letter. Dear Miranda, my deepest apologies for not meeting you in person. I would love nothing more than to visit your quaint village once more. However, I am incredibly busy. Then again, I suppose for an immortal woman such as yourself, you no longer remember this poor half-dead medical student in the snow. I have always cherished the revelations I came to 15 years ago when I stayed in your village. I was inspired by your research to think one could transform a human by infecting them with an organism, positively visionary. I know with that knowledge I could achieve my own vision for the next step on human knowledge evolution. Even after 2 world wars and humanity on the cusp of another, my conviction never wavered. I realised, however, through the many nights of intellectual talks that you and I shared, that your conviction differed from mine. You hope to bring back one single dead person, while I aim to change the world. Your experiments on the mould would not have aided me with my endeavour to achieve experimental infection. I thought a virus might be more efficient, would be more effective. This is why, my dear, I had to leave you. I will regret never telling you goodbye. My apologies for resentment. That one there. I actually have news that I thought might please you. I have found the key to evolution, the progenitor, a virus found in Africa. I plan to start a company with my friends and colleagues dedicated to the virus research. I will call it Umbrella, just like the symbol in the caves that we spoke about. I am one step closer to making my vision a reality. I hope that you'll be able to achieve your goals someday too. You taught me so much, and for that I will be forever in your debt. Sincerely, your lifelong student, Oswald E. Spencer. Chris's mission in the corner of the on the corner table inside Miranda's laboratory. So that essentially puts the pieces back together. The Spencer visited the village after World War II, like back in the early 60s, probably late 50s, and they basically talked. Spencer saw the symbol in the caves, and he used that symbol as a reference to make the Umbrella Corporation. And obviously that mould, that Kudu, well not Kudu, that Minamycete came before the progenitor virus. So yeah, the mould come first, in other words. So the law goes back a very long way, at least before the 60s. So let's read Ethan's diary. Yeah, this is basically very start of the game, and it gets filled out throughout. February 9th, dawn, some forest. It should have been a night like no other. But then Chris Redfield came in and destroyed our family. He took Rose away, shot Mia right in front of me. I was knocked out, and now I'm in some forest in the middle of nowhere. What the hell is going on? Same day, early morning in the village square. I found a village just outside the forest, but one of the villagers attacked and dragged off by some kind of beast. I was attacked. I managed to survive those creatures, and an old woman told me Rose is here somewhere. I need to find her before those monsters get to her too. And morning, Louisa's house. I found survivors huddled up together in Louisa's house. I think that she's the bigwig here. But then one of them turned into one of those creatures. He slaughtered everyone there. I get it. These monsters are the villagers, and the villagers their den. Now I know two things: that I am the only one left, and Rose might be in the castle. So that's where I'm going next. And morning in the mine. I was on my way to the castle when I was captured by a group of 5 twisted freaks. Heisenberg, a hammer-wielding arsehole. Demetrescu, the tallest woman I have ever seen. Donna has some weird creepy doll. Maru has some nasty pus-spewing thing. And last of all, their mother Miranda. They can control those creatures too. What are these people? Morning in front of the castle. Some merchant, calls himself the Duke, appeared out on a horse-drawn caravan. He seems to know what's happening here. I don't trust him. I don't have time for that. I need to search this castle for Rose, or at least some clues. Morning, castle chambers. The castle looks like something straight out of a gothic horror movie, complete with giant noblewoman and 3 of her rich daughters. But they caught me while I was looking for Rose and strung me up. I had to bite the bullet in order to get loose. Hurt like hell too. Morning, castle courtyard. I can't find Rose anywhere in this damn castle. Perhaps she was never here to begin with, or she being kept somewhere else. Either way, there's no reason for me to stick around. Now I just have to escape. Noon, Tower of Worship. That woman Demontress turned into a monster, but I was able to kill her and escape. I found this strange flask. She said, "You'll never see Rose again." Why can't I get that out of my head? Noon, at the altar. Rose's body is in these flasks? Who the fuck would do such a thing? My brain can't keep up with everything that's happening right now. The Duke said that there was a way to save her. It's hard to believe him, but the only thing I can do is ask the man who lives in the house with the red chimney. Afternoon, at the altar. So Rose was divided into 4 flasks and given to the 4 lords, Demetres, Donna, Moreau and Heisenberg. If I can save Rose, I can save Rose if I get to all 4 of those. I still don't trust this Duke, but he was right about this one thing. It's time to get my daughter back. Afternoon, in the mountain garden. I saw Mia in the fog. What's she doing here? No, she's gone. I have to accept that, but I guess it's part of me that still can't. Afternoon, House Berriento. Those walking nightmares I was having in that house was all the work of Donna. But I admit I'm still worried about that thing Mia wouldn't tell me before, and now I will never know what it was. Only 2 flasks left. I swear I'll at least save Rose. Afternoon in the caves. I finally got hold of the 3rd flask, but the exit was blocked by the arsehole Moreau. I need to find another way out. There's still something nagging me though. He said something about Miranda wanting her baby back. I have a feeling he wasn't talking about Rose. Afternoon in the lake. I ran into Chris and his goons in the shack by the lake. They seem to be researching something. What are they up to? I had many questions, but then a giant fish turned out to be Moreau attacked. I need to get out of here, but he said the exit is underwater. Afternoon, Moreau's hut. Moreau's belly up and I'm almost out of the lake. Then who shows up but the last child, Heisenberg? Not in person, of course, but through a dusty old TV. He told me that the last flask is in some stronghold. I'm not going to let him have his way. I don't have any many other options right now. This better not be a trick. Evening in the stronghold. I finally have all 4 flasks, but Heisenberg said I needed to do one thing before I heal her. Take all the flasks to the altar. Will this really heal her? Can I trust Heisenberg? Evening in the east, edge of bridge. The other one was in the evening as well. I put the 4 flasks in the giant chalice and then moved it to the ceremony site where the ground gave up and a stone bridge appeared. There was some kind of garage or warehouse on the other side, Heisenberg's place, I presume. I don't want to be apart from Rose, but there's only one thing. There's only a little left to do. Wait for me, dear. Evening, factory underground. Heisenberg asked for me to help him, but he just wants to use Rose against Miranda. Heisenberg, they're all the same, fighting over Rose's power, something that is no match for any of them. Crazy. I mean, Rose is just a baby. I need to get to the surface so I can save her. Evening in the scrap heap. It's hard to believe that what Chris told me. He didn't shoot Mia, but Miranda. She can change her appearance and pretend to be Mia. She wants a Rose for some experiment with that fucking mold. and Chris is trying to stop her. I feel like that I've been thrown through in. I've been thrown into a nightmare from Louisiana all over again. Dawn, February 10th, altar. I know two things. The first, Miranda's is Miranda's real goal. She wants to bring back her dead daughter, who is stored in the Megamycete. Bring her back to life using Rose as a vessel. The second is a secret Mia was hiding from me, that I died in the Baker house 3 years ago. I'm just a walking corpse full of mould. And this body almost spent. Don't worry, Rose, I swear I'll save you. That's the thing, because it's like, Ethan's technically dead throughout the game, because he died at the beginning of the of 7, so he's basically a corpse in this one, and he's slowly like decaying by the end of the game. So he quickly gives Chris Rose, which he saved from Miranda, and takes the detonator from Chris and stays in the village while Chris goes to the helicopter with Mia and Rose to basically get out. So Ethan sacrifices himself to save his own daughter, which is quite touching and brave, to be fair. Right, 100 hour 6 minutes. Didn't expect it to be that long. Friday I'll be doing Shadows of Rose. So that'll be that one. I'm gonna try and make a Christmas video tomorrow. See how that goes. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow.